Ty, we're learning that 2 federal judges advised Cannon to step aside. She rejected them. You hear others, though, Dave Ehrenberg, saying that maybe all of this is more a matter of inexperience than anything else. What do you take away from this?
I think with regard to Judge Cannon's, behavior and her consistent rulings in Trump's favor, we're way beyond the point of, characterizing her merely as inexperienced.
Trump's former White House lawyer Ty Cobb had some strong words for Judge Aileen Cannon, the Trump-appointed judge overseeing his classified documents case in Florida. He made those comments yesterday shortly after it was revealed that Cannon was actually urged to decline the case when it was randomly assigned to her last year, a suggestion that she rejected. According to reporting from the New York Times, shortly after Judge Aileen Cannon drew the assignment in June 2023 to oversee former President Donald Trump's classified documents case, 2 more experienced colleagues on the federal bench in Florida urged her to pass it up and hand it off to another jurist, according to 2 people briefed on the conversations. The judges who approached Judge Cannon, including the chief judge in the Southern District of Florida, Cecilia Altonaga, each asked her to consider whether it would be better if she were to decline the high-profile case, allowing it to go to another judge, the 2 people said. But she wanted to keep the case, so she chose to ignore the advice of her more experienced colleagues. Remember, Cannon's assignment as judge in this case got a lot of attention because she barely has any previous trial experience. Plus, she had previously shown unusual favor to Trump by intervening in a way that helps him in the criminal investigation that led to his indictment, only to be reversed in a sharply critical rebuke by a conservative appeals court panel. She had barred investigators from gaining access to evidence recovered from the search of Mar-a-Lago. Judge Altonaga allegedly called Cannon and used that situation to argue it would be bad optics for her to oversee this trial. But now Cannon is defiant and kept the case. She has indefinitely postponed the trial, even though both the prosecution and the defense had told her they could be ready to start this summer. Trump's lawyers had urged her to delay any trial until after the election, which she appears to be listening to. And if Trump wins in November, he could order the Justice Department to drop the case. Today, Cannon is hearing far-fetched arguments that the appointment of special counsel Jack Smith to oversee the documents case was unconstitutional. It's an attempt by Trump's team to kill the case altogether. Ty Cobb ripped Cannon apart for entertaining that argument and warned her to be careful before ruling in favor of Trump again. Take a look.
This all comes down to a request by Trump's team. They want to get Jack Smith fired, get rid of him as special counsel, say it's invalid in the Mar-a-Lago case. So what's really at stake here?
The fact she doesn't deny most of these motions without a hearing is silly. The fact that Trump can get a hearing, on the flimsiest arguments is shocking. The worst thing that could happen to her is that she actually does rule for Trump on this, because that would go to the 11th Circuit. And then I think this, petty partisan prima donna would be put in her place and they would remove her.
Petty partisan prima donna, say that 3 times fast. Cenk, what do you make of this case?
I'm also against petty partisan Parmesan. Won't have it, can't stand it.
Thanks for watching. Our audience has helped build TYT into the media giant it is today. Together, we can accomplish anything. Support our work and join us at tyt.com/team.
All right, so that's Ty Cobb. That's not only Trump's former lawyer at the White House, but that's obviously someone who's been very, very conservative throughout his career. But I know, MAGA, nothing counts, everybody's deep state. So look, let me make some statements that distinguish things, both us from mainstream media and MAGA, right? So are there things where you go, okay, that seems weird. Merrick Garland, why did you wait 2.5 years to appoint a special counsel for Trump? That's weird, very weird. You're not wrong to think that, right? So was Madison Cawthorn smeared? Yes. Matt Gaetz, we've talked about recently. We don't like him, but that ethics committee investigation is deeply political. It's happened to our side, Bernie Sanders, Nina Turner, myself, 2 out of the 3 of us here have experienced it. Is that what's going on with Judge Cannon, where the deep state is stepping in and these judges are going, oh no, wait, don't do anything about Trump, and the other Trump appointed judges, Bush appointed judges keep overruling her? No. This is not deep state. This is not any conspiracy. This is just a judge who seems to be far too partisan. And her rulings, as I've told you, as she made them, I said, look, there's a lot of rulings that go on Trump's side where I go, yeah, that makes sense. There's some rulings that go against Trump where I go, I don't know that he should put up all the money while he's appealing his civil fraud case, right? So you've seen me be honest and fair about those things. Cannon is way outside the bounds. She's making crazy rulings that don't make any sense, and she's obviously delaying the trial until after the election. So super partisan. I don't know that there's a way to get her out of this. The other judges don't have purview, as Cobb explained, until she makes another absurd ruling. Then the 11th Circuit can step in. But until then, she's in charge of this trial, and I don't think there's any way that it's going to happen before the election. That's my sense of it. Nina, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I love that good alliteration, though. Who doesn't like a good alliteration? He did that. But no, I totally agree with what you're saying, Cenk. It is obvious that Judge Cannon lacks something that is vital to being a jurist, and that's integrity. And she has no shame in her game because there probably won't be any consequences but for her getting caught up, as you just laid out, a ruling and then another level of judges smacking her down. But nothing heretofore has seemed to stop her crusade, and she's doing it all out in the open. So I guess if there's any positive to this negative is she's being very transparent in her unbridled support for Donald J. Trump. This should not be on a bench. I mean, if she wanted to be political like this, she should have ran for another office. But when you're a jurist, this should not be the case.
Yeah, I'm gonna give one more word to one of our members. Art Guy wrote in with a really powerful point, and that's why we love doing the show with members. Hit the join button below. Ty Cobb is evolving from a 19th century carny into Santa Claus. That should also be noted for the record. That is true. Ty Cobb, because he used to have like real old school suits with that same look, but now when you put on the flannel shirt, now we're entering Santa Claus territory. Look, guys, we can have fun with the news, and tell you the reality at the same time. Cannon doesn't belong on this case, but she's on the case. You can't remove her. That trial's pretty much dead. And look, my sense of it is if Trump loses, whoever wins is gonna drop a lot of these cases. If it's Joe Biden, another Democrat, et cetera. And then they're gonna prove ironically that it was political, right? So I don't think these trials are going anywhere, and with Cannon leading this one, totally dead in the water.
Yeah. Well,
Important point, Cenk. We should not lose that point that you just made. These cases are gonna go away, and it is gonna prove what some people already believe is the case.